Hello. This is the manual release for muscles crossing the knee, which causes it a little bit of pain sometimes. I don't have the microphone with me today, so it is a little bit, I hope you can hear me. Please write in the comment section if you can't hear me. Okay, so if you have a foam roll, that will help a lot. If you don't have one, it doesn't matter. I'll show you how to do it with fingers as well. If you have someone who likes to massage you, they might want to come and check where everything is situated so they can do it for you. Such fun. Minion is busy, so I couldn't use him for one of the massages. I'll try and do it without him. Okay, the knee. So the muscles crossing the knee that has a tendency to become overactive and sore and might pull on the knee or do stuff with it to cause pain or have referred pain would be the rectus, femoris, which is the middle one of the tricep. The quads. I don't know what I just said there, of the quads. The vastus medialis and vastus lateralis, which is the two on the side, which makes up the part of the quads as well. And then the very strange one, the tensor fascia, I say latae, but I think it's latea. I don't know how to pronounce that because my teacher is American. So I have all the American pronunciations for the muscles. So, and it sits up there. This one is a very small muscle that aids internal rotation of the hip. But it also invests into your tibial band, that is kind of a fascia sieve that runs down the leg and connects and inserts down at the knee, which has a tendency, they call it runner knee, which has a tendency to get quite sore if you run a lot, you know, this muscle pulling into, because it uses the IT band is the shorter version. It uses the IT band as a tendon and kind of inserts into that and then run down the leg. So it's a very small muscle, but it does do internal rotation of the hip. So if you have knees bowed in, kind of feeling that would be maybe the muscle up there being overactive. If you have glutes that's not active, that muscle tends to, let's call it the tibia, let's call it the TFL. I wanted to say the TFL. That has a tendency to kind of do the job for the glutes medius as well, and the glutes, the little one, that's also an internal rotator. Okay, so that is the top of the muscles. Then, if you have knee pain on the inside of your knee, the medial side, you might have a problem with your adductor, adductor. The abductors goes out, the adductors goes in, so abductors. And the specific one is adductor magnus, which also runs down there. Unfortunately, one of the trigger points is it's way up there, but the other one is quite low, and that's usually the one that will cause the knee pain. So we'll do the lower one of that. And then the last one, which we'll just quickly look at, is the lateral head of your gastrocnemius. This is the only muscle in your lower leg that crosses the knee joint, and that has got a little bit of a job in feet bow out. So feet going out, but knees going in. That muscle tends to be a little bit overactive, and if you pinch it, if you touch it, you will feel it. You will flinch a little bit, and we'll just release that one as well. Okay, how to start. So if you do have a foam roller, you can use that. Otherwise, I'll show you both with the fingers. So let's do the easiest ones. The ones at the top is your rectus femoris, which with the trigger point will be quite high up there. The vastus lateralis on this side, on the outside of the leg, and you will feel this one. This one has a tendency to be overactive. So you can, let's do that one first. So you can, let me show you from the side. So if you just go a little bit to the side of your knee, just above that. If you start to, so the muscle runs down, up and down like this. So if you kind of palpate it perpendicular to the muscle fiber, that will be an easier way to find the taunt bands and the trigger points. So if you just run your fingers down, all the way down, and you will feel it immediately. It's sore, it's a little bit tight. As soon as you find your tight spot, just hold it. And you hold it quite a bit. This is quite a sensitive muscle, and you just hold on to that. And usually it takes about 30 seconds with a nice little pressure. Keep the knees slightly raised, like so, because as soon as you put it down, it's not tense, and because it crosses the knee, as soon as you lift up the knee, you stretch it out a little bit, and that is going to cause you to find it easier. So you just find the taut band, you can run it up and down, that muscle. Ooh, there's mine, got it. As soon as you find it, press into it. There's usually trigger points specifically. It's usually a little bit there, the middle of the muscle, and then one up there. Oh, and then you just hold on to it. You don't move it, you don't play with it, you just find the tight band, the taut. It's like a nodule, so you'll find it kind of tensing up. It feels like guitar strings if you move over, and then you'll feel it starts to harden a little bit, and then you'll find a spot. As soon as you find the spot, stay there. It's usually painful, and just hold it. Don't go crazy because your muscle's going to bounce back at you if you go too hard. Just find a kind of a good pressure, not too light. You have to feel it, but also not go in there, and then your muscle goes, it wants to punch you back. Don't let it punch you back. So that's the the vastus lateralis. The same goes for the rectus femoris. I can't say the last one. The muscle runs up and down. There is a big ligament there attaching to your patella, so just go below that. And then again, start to go perpendicular to the muscle fiber. If the muscle runs down, it's crossing over that muscle fiber. And as soon as you find it, and it's usually higher up, it's round about there, press into it and hold. 30 seconds again. And you can really go for it. 30 seconds, you can really pinch it. If you notice that if you pinch from above, it kind of goes underneath your thumb. It kind of wants to get away. If you notice that, then as soon as you find that, go a little bit to the side. So just press it in from the side, and then it doesn't run away from you, and you can really hold on to that. That's nice and painful. And then the same goes for the vastus medialis. So this one is not as tense as the one on the side, depending on what your problem is. So you can just run it perpendicular to the muscle fiber. Again, they all run up and down with maybe a slight little... Hello, did I just go? Hello, am I back? Am I back? Yes. Okay, sorry. And then you just find it. And as soon as you get it, hold on to it. You can press a little bit to the side. I'll show you from the inside where that is. So the medialis one runs just to the side of that. Lift up your leg a little bit, and then just go perpendicular to the muscle fiber until you find it, and then press into it, wherever that is, and hold on. So a little bit more towards the inside of the leg. I should show you a little bit closer, running there. Okay, so if you want to do that, this is with your fingers, which it helps if you've got someone to help you with that. They're usually a little bit stronger, and they're not scared to press into the muscle. If you want to do this with a foam roll, you put the foam roll down, and with the bicep legs, with the rectus femoris and its friends, the quad friends, just be careful, don't put too much weight on it. So if you do the front and the middle one, so if you do medius and rectus, let me do it this way so that you can see the inside of my leg. So don't put loads of pressure on. All you do is you put your knee just there, and you just go forward. I'm just going to take my leg forward so that you can see what I do. And you kind of start rolling. So at your knee, there's a tendon, so you won't necessarily feel this. Run back, until you find that. Now the rectus femoris is a little bit further back, so you'll have to go a little bit lower. So usually your leg won't be there. Your leg will be next to the side, like so. I'm just putting my leg there so that you can see it happening. So you press into it and you roll, and you can go from side to side until you find that nodule that is tight, and you hold it there and let it spread. And the same with the medius. You start at the bottom, you turn your foot out a little bit so that you go towards the middle of the knee and the inside of your leg, and you just run it down until you feel it. And then with the tensor TFL, which is this one. Now, where this one is situated, you have to find it first. So if you have your hip bone right there, and you just go a little bit back, but not posterior, so just a little, so an inch back and down, you will find that muscle right there. Okay, so now that you know where it is, there's two ways. First, we'll do hand, and then we'll do foam roll. So the easiest way to find it, if you put your leg down and you lie on your back, and you go, okay, so there is my iliac crest, superior, I've got it, my hip bone. I'm going slightly back, but not too much, and a little bit lower. Okay, so more or less, I think it's there. Now, the way you will find this, or anyone trying to find it, first of all, the muscle goes down, so try and cross-section it perpendicular to the muscle fiber. And if you're still not sure, if you internally rotate your leg, so if you turn your leg in, that muscle pops up. So lie down, turn the leg in, and you should feel that muscle pops up immediately. So just right. Once you find it, you can either just massage it yourself with that leg slightly turned in. Now this one, if you don't feel it, it's not a problem. But sometimes if you touch this one and you have a TFL that's troublesome, you're going to fly through the ceiling. So this is you're either not going to feel it at all, I don't really feel this one, or you're going to jump through the roof. So whatever that one is, if you're jumping through the roof, just press into it and hold. It's a little bit difficult if you're lying on your back, so you can sit up once you found it and just press into that and hold, turning your leg in slightly so that it pops up. And that's how you do it with your finger. If you want to do that with a foam roll, you just go to the side, one leg over. Again, you find your hip bone and a little bit forward, and you place that on the foam roll. This leg is going to hold you up. You can go down a little bit, and you're just going to roll until you, wow, I was lying, I am feeling it, until you find the spot, and you're going to hold. That's quite painful. So on the foam roll, it does work a little bit better on the foam roll. Find that spot and press into it. Who knew? Now that one goes into your IT band and runs down your leg, and your vastus lateralis is just next to it. So if you want to add that in, you just roll down. Now I want you to be careful because this is quite painful. I'm going to just move my leg so that you can see. So you're just rolling down. Keep it anterior, so to the front of the leg more than to the back. If you're on the middle line, just a little bit to the front, and you should feel it in that quad muscle at the back, on the side. Now this muscle is quite sensitive, so I wouldn't say go hard on it, and don't roll up and down. Just find the spot and press into it on your sore leg first, and hold that. If you release these two and you've got a tight inside one, then you're good to go. That's going to make a massive difference. And then just as an added bonus, the adductor magnus is one of your groin muscles, your adductors. It's quite big, and it can, and you will feel it if you've got a problem on the inside of your leg. You will feel it if you touch this one. So how you find it is you have to miss your hamstrings. And the way how you know it's going to be the hamstrings. If you bend your leg a little bit, I want to sit close enough so that you can see me, and you press your heel into the floor, your hamstrings activate. So activate your hamstrings, make them jump so that they go strong. Some people who are skinny and strong, you will see the difference. You will see the hamstrings going. So make sure your hamstrings are going, activate them, and you will feel the hamstrings. They're strong, you know where they're sitting, and then just next to that, it makes a little dip. In that dip is your adductor magnus. Find that dip, and again, it runs down, so you can just go up and down, forwards and back, across the muscle, and find it. Now, one of the trigger points is more towards the knee than it is towards the groin. The other one is there. So once you find it, I just found mine, grab it, hold on to it, and don't let it go. Really press into that. You can use your thumb. You can play around with your meat there. Once you find it, press into it. And depending on how sore your knee is, if you do find it, it's going to shoot into your knee a little bit. So just be aware of that. Hold on to that. Just, I mean, you won't get your hamstrings. Your hamstrings is at the back. This one is to the side. And squeeze into that. That's manual with your fingers. If you want to do that one with a foam roller, it's okay. My angle will be like so. Okay, so bend this knee. This foam roller needs to get to the inside of that leg. Once you get there, I mean, it's gonna hit that immediately. You don't even have to worry about the hamstrings. It's to the side of the leg, not the back. So if you place your medial knee joint on the foam roller and then just move it until you get to the leg, move with it until you find that tight spot, which is more or less there. Just press into it and hold it until it eases off. Now, the easing off, if you hold it in place, takes about 30 seconds to 120 seconds. And you should really just hold that. It kind of numbs after a while. If you have your fingers, if you have someone massaging you or using your own fingers, you can sometimes feel that tight little knot go a little bit under your fingers after 30 to 120 seconds, depending on how tight that leg is, or that muscle is, not leg. Now, if you want to find the inside of the groin, be my guest and roll it down. Unfortunately, you need to be quite flexible for that, but you can lie on your tummy with that leg out. That's much better, actually. And just roll it until you find the inside of the groin, which is quite stiff, and just hold it there. And so you can either sit and do that, especially if it's close to the knee, or you can just lie down with your leg out and find that band, roll it until you, there it is, and hold it. I would suggest, if you have knees bowing, to really spend some time on that adductor magnus to get it nice and loose. It's probably working a little bit hard and putting some strain on your knee. Or the knee is just a referred pain. And I would also go quite wild on the Vastus lateralis and the TFL. And that's it. So a couple of muscles influencing the knee and pain in the knee. The exercises we did yesterday is a lot of it is mobility, a little bit of activation, especially of the glutes. So if you do that activation, especially of the glutes, and you loosen the ones that is overactive and doing the job of the glutes and other muscles, then you should be okay with your knee pain for, I would say, about 2 to 3 weeks. If it's just, plain simple strain, repetitive strain knee pain. But that is it. I will see you tomorrow for another rehab video, and hopefully I can work on my ankle angle a bit so that you can see it better. But there it is, manual release with a foam roll over your fingers, or someone who can massage you. Enjoy.